All right, what is going on, guys? So in this video today, it's going to be a little bit of a different one. I'm going to go over my fitness backstory, my fitness journey, all the way from 12 years old to me today at 22. And in this video, I'm going to be pretty vulnerable with you guys. Like I'm going to share some things that a lot of people that know me in real life, like even some of my closest friends, might not even know about me, like especially things in my childhood and the things that make me who I am today, like why I take my health and fitness so seriously, why I advocate to everyone that they should really prioritize their fitness, was all shaped from what's happened to me growing up, especially in the next slide you'll see. But yeah, this is me, 12 years old, my family here, my parents, older brother, he's about 2 years older than me, and this is me today. So let's dive into my story. So this is the prelude, 12 to 16 years old. This is kind of before I started going to the gym like very consistently. And the first thing I want to cover, as you probably saw, is this sternum deformity. So me growing up, I actually had a deformity. Like I was a deformed kid growing up. My sternum bone in my chest would stick out. So basically, like this bone right here, everyone has it, but mine would just be stuck out like this because it just didn't form properly, I guess, at birth, like when I was in the womb or whatever. Don't know exactly how it happened. And it got worse over time. So like when I was really young, it wasn't that bad, but as you can see here, even when I was 12, you could see this popping out here. And I just remember being super self-conscious about this. Like this really affected me, like mentally, how I viewed myself, and just like my self-image of who I saw myself to be was really affected by this. Like being super self-confident or self-conscious of taking my shirt off in public, like here with my family, I was fine. But I remember in school, every single day, I would wear like either a jacket or a hoodie to cover up my shirt because it would stick out from my shirt. Like even if I was wearing like a t-shirt like this, if it was, especially if it was tight around my chest, you could just see it sticking out, and like it really fucked with my head, fucked with my mind. And I would even like pull my shirt like this so it'd be like a little bit more baggy, so it wouldn't like be so obvious that there was something just sticking out of my chest. Really fucked with me mentally growing up. And as you can see here, I actually got it, like fixed in. So I went out to Maryland, drove all the way to Maryland from Michigan, is where I'm from. And fortunately, I have cousins out there, so I stayed with them for a few days. And I had this guy, like super niche guy, that specializes in this specifically. So he basically just pushed my sternum bone in. I was laying on this table, and he basically just pushed it in. By far the most painful experience I've ever been through in my life. Like I cannot even describe how painful this was, but pushes it in, and then I wear this brace to hold it in place. I wore this for like 4 to 6 months. And the schedule with this was the first 2 weeks I had to keep it on 24/7. I could not take it off for a second of the day. And then after 2 weeks, I could take it off for 2 hours a day. And then next 2 weeks would be four, and then six, and so on until I just didn't need it anymore. And I remember when I first had this, man, this fucked with me, bro. Like having this as a 14-year-old kid, because this was right before I started high school as a freshman. This was the summer before. This just like I was just like a different kid. Like growing up, I always thought of myself as that I didn't fit in places. Like I had friends, and I had like my really close group of friends that I was really really close with. But outside of that, like I was super shy. Like I was pretty introverted as a kid, pretty reserved. I wouldn't really like be outgoing. I wouldn't strike up a conversation with you unless I knew you, unless you were part of like my circle. And a big part of that is just like the way I viewed myself. I remember even taking showers with like plastic bags around me like the first 2 weeks because I genuinely could not take this off. Like, man, ton of memories just flashing back at me while I'm making this, but it was a pretty, I would say, like, I wouldn't say hard time in my life because like I got through it well. And like nowadays, I don't even think about this. Like I've gone past this pretty well, but it did make me who I am today. Also, I was hypothyroid as a kid, and I still am to this day, but it's just not as active as it used to be. So I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism when I was 12. So in this picture, like around this time here, and I started taking levothyroxine, which is basically a synthetic thyroid hormone. So it's you're taking like the T4 version, which converts into T3, and I was taking this every single morning, from 12 to 19. So I stopped taking this when I was 19. And I remember putting like the little pill like on my nightstand right before school. And I would take it 30 minutes before breakfast because I couldn't have any food like 30 minutes after taking it. So every single morning before school, I would set an alarm 30 minutes before I wanted to eat breakfast, take it. I'd go back to bed for like 30 minutes because like every kid wants their sleep. Every single day for like 7 years straight, I would do this. I also ran cross country and track in middle school and high school. So I started in sixth grade. I was 12 years old here. Super skinny, as you can see. Like I'm just skin and bones here. Like I was a pretty good runner. I made the varsity team on cross country team my sophomore year of high school. I was pretty proud of that. So I was a decent runner. I wasn't like the top of my team. If I kept going, I definitely would have been like top either junior or senior year. I would have been the best runner on the team, but I just didn't keep going. Just kind of, I fell in love with lifting at this point, and just other things just didn't really interest me anymore. But I mean, I still run to this day, but not for the same reasons of just racing and doing times. Like I've done some races recently. I'll get into this as well, kind of getting ahead of myself here. But yeah, I was hypothyroidism, or had hypothyroidism, which I still do, and then had a sternum deformity. Bro, I just remember genuinely talking to God and asking him like why he made me so much different than everyone else. Like I genuinely felt like I could not relate to anyone. Like no one else was going through having a deformity and being hypothyroidism. I keep saying hypothyroidism, being hypothyroid and being like super shy, introverted. None of that, like no one else was like that around me. I was like the only one, and I just remember just like living in my head. Like even during like cross country practice, track practice, when I was just running by myself, I would just use that time to just think and just really just like daydream about the person that I wanted to be and just like think about life. Because I always knew I had more potential. I always knew like God put me here to do good things and big things in this life. But I felt so much different. Like I was genuinely so different than everyone, at least in my head. Like maybe from the outside, I kind of blended in with everyone because I was just like I didn't talk to anyone outside of my friend group, like I said. But yeah, it's just something that was an internal thought in my head. So yeah, running track, cross country. This is my family. So my parents, by the way, they're from Barranquilla, Colombia. So I'm Colombian myself, and they came to the U.S. in the year 2000. They had my brother. He was born in Arizona, and then I was born in Florida in 2003. And now we live in Michigan. So a little backstory of me there. And then I remember I started lifting like genuinely in the gym in my conditioning class my freshman year of high school. So I was 15 years old, and I didn't really get into it too much, but I did really like the topic of like health and fitness because like growing up, I was kind of forced to learn so many different things just dealing with like not having great health growing up with a hypothyroid condition. And I was always just super health conscious like growing up. I would never really like indulge in sweet treats. I would always take care of like my diet. I was always super lean, like always running, always being outside, always playing with like friends. Like I grew up in this neighborhood where there was this one park in the middle, and all the kids in the neighborhood would all go to the park to just play, like play soccer, Ghost in the Graveyard. There's a playground as well, like groundies, all these different games. Man, I'm getting so many memories talking about this. But I was always super active, always super like moving every single day. So always pretty health conscious with like my diet. I knew like sugar was not good for you. Like I didn't know like all of the things that I know now, obviously, because I've just been obsessed with this for the past like 5 years at this point. But yeah, these things really shaped me into the person I am today, like my interest in what I do. So like I said, freshman year conditioning class, learned a lot of basics of like diet and lifting and like building muscle, all these things, which I think if I went back to that class now, I would fucking wipe the floor with them. Like I just know so much more now than I did, which I'm not saying it was a bad class, but it exposed me to like so many different topics of health, fitness, and all these things. So I really fell in love with this. And then my sophomore year of high school, I took advanced conditioning as well. So there was conditioning, and then everyone had to take this, but then the people that wanted to take advanced conditioning could do that as well. And I remember I had talked to my school counselor to like get me in that class because I wasn't in that class in the first place. But then like all my friends were in that class my sophomore year. and I made her switch me into that class like as the semester started for the school year, and it was the best thing in the world. Like we would just lift together at school, basically like a whole hour of school just lifting in the gym. It was pretty fun, pretty sick. So I got really into lifting here, like making like my first progress. Like obviously, like when you first start, you're gonna make a lot of progress. So making good progress here. And side note, I remember my first like in the freshman conditioning class, before I ever like touched weights ever, my bench max was 100 pounds. That was like near the top of the class. Like I remember there was like maybe two kids that were stronger than me at 100 pounds. I was 15 years old, never touched a weights, 100-pound bench. Like looking back, that's like super weak. Like I would destroy that now, obviously, but looking back, like I had a good foundation when I started. So taking advanced conditioning my sophomore year, that was 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020. The lockdown happened, so quarantine, school shut down. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't work out because I was pretty much just relying on the school gym to work out with my friends in that class. But I still had like that super drive, and like I just knew I had more potential. I just wanted to make a change because at this point I was super skinny, just coming off, track practice, cross country, just always being a runner, always being super skinny. I wanted to make a change, and I just had this burning desire to just become the best version of myself that I could see in my mind. Like I always had this burning desire, burning vision of fulfilling my potential. So I really fell in love with lifting there, and then school shut down. So I got kind of fucked. I had no way to actually train. So then I actually made these concrete dumbbells with my dad the summer of 2020. So right after my sophomore year, as you can see here, me and my dad made these concrete dumbbells, and I would pretty much just lift weights like where I am right now. Like I'm still at home here, and you can see these dumbbells right here, and I'm sitting on this bench here. Like this bench right here is what I'm sitting on making this video. And I've kind of like pimped out the home gym now. Got the whiteboard, got the treadmill too, the skateboard's up there. I used to skateboard and longboard with me and my brother. He got way more into it than me, but it was pretty fun. And then, so this is me at 16. I was actually about to turn 17 here because my birthday is in August. So this is really early August. And this was 16 as well. So as you can see, very skinny, not much muscle at all. I had a like really good ab formation as like getting into the gym because when I was doing cross country and track, every single practice we would do a core workout. So like we were hitting abs every single day in season. So I had like pretty much like 2 to 3 years of just like hitting abs every single day when I was in season, which is the fall for cross country and the spring for track. So I built a really good foundation. I definitely have good ab development to this day. I think that's one of the biggest reasons I have it. I mean, as you can see, I have pretty good development there. I've just continued with this so far. So that's basically 12 to 16, the foundation, the prelude of me actually being consistent with the gym. All started with this conditioning class into advanced conditioning. Lockdown happened, made these dumbbells, and then turned 17. So we'll get into here. So this right here is the actual like first gym you could say that I went to on my own. So this is the year I started like really focusing on the gym, really started lifting. This is actually in Colombia, in Barranquilla. So me and my family usually go to Colombia like once a year, and I've been going a lot more recently now just because of what I do, like what I was doing for work. I'll get into it like when I get to like the 20 and 21 years old. I'll get into what I've been doing. So this is in Barranquilla. They had these outdoor gyms where I could just go whenever, because basically like it wasn't like a true gym. Didn't have like openings and closings, so I could just go whenever here. And I just fell in love with this. Like I would be here every single day because the lockdown was in full effect, right? So I had nothing to do other than do like these workouts here at these like chest press machines. They had like this lat pull down machine. It was like very basic equipment, but still did the job for me just starting out. And then I would just go home and just obsess with YouTube fitness videos. Like I remember watching Alex Eubank, like he's huge now. If you don't know who he is, massive fitness influencer. I started watching him in December of 2020. I don't even know how many subscribers he had, but it was not a lot. I was pretty early on with him. I remember watching Mountain Dog. Shout out to John Meadows, rest in peace, that guy. He taught me so much about lifting and just fitness in general. Man, if you don't know who Mountain Dog is, go check out his channel. He's awesome. Learned so much from him, but he did pass away, I think a few years ago, so rest in peace to him. Remember, Jeff Nippert is a good one. Jeremy Ether, like some science-based things. It's good to know like why things work in the body, and then you can like pretty much use them to your own split and like make your own things from them. Like I've learned so much throughout the years, and I've pretty much compiled it into my own like method that I teach, which I'll get into as well. So was doing this in Colombia. This was my physique at 17. I think this is like a little bit into the gym, like a few months into the gym. So got my first gym membership, like true gym membership at LA Fitness here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's where I'm from. So this was in February of 2021 when I first got it. So today's February 17th, 2026. So as of 5 years ago, I've been going to the gym super consistently. Like ever since I got this gym membership, I have not stopped. Like I've maybe taken like a 2-3 week break, just like if I go on a trip or vacation or something like that. But other than that, there's not been a period where I have not been going consistently to the gym. Just like I don't make excuses for this. Like I'm always there. Like I just have that internal just drive to get everything done, just become the best version in my physical fitness and everything in life as well. So as you can see this screenshot here, this is something that I made to convince my parents to let me go to the gym, because like when I was 17, they would not let me go because they thought I would get sick there because of the lockdown. So I wrote this out for them. You could read this for yourself, like the cons, the pros, the reasons why I should be able to. My friends go every day and they never got sick. I remember, shout out to Jack Brady, if you're watching this. I remember he sent me this video of him at the gym, and I was basically like begging him to send me this so I could show my parents, to tell them that there's no one at the gym. I'm not going to get sick at the gym. But like that's kind of besides the point. So I started going to the gym here. And I also played summer lacrosse this year as well. So summer of 2021, I was on a travel lacrosse team with some of my friends as well. I never got too into lacrosse, but I just did this for the summer. I thought it would be a fun experience. It was pretty fun playing travel lacrosse all across Michigan, and even had a tournament in Indiana. Really, really fun just traveling with the friends. Remember lifting at like 3 a.m. in some random Anytime Fitness in Indiana with one of my friends. Good times there. And yeah, this picture was when I was playing lacrosse as well. You can see this bruise right here was from playing lacrosse. You get hit a lot. Like people slash you. It's a pretty physical sport. Not like the craziest physical sport, but you definitely get some bruises, can get injured. And I was just trying to build, right here, I was trying to build as much muscle as I could. Like I remember I used to make these protein shakes where I wouldn't really care about like the exact macros. All I cared about was getting calories in, being in a surplus, and hitting my protein. That was all that was on my mind. And of course, like hitting the gym. So I'd make these protein shakes where I'd just stuff them with whole milk, a ton of peanut butter, a ton of whey protein, and then like some fruits as well to give it like some sweetness as well. And they'd come out to be like 1,000 calories, 100 grams of protein, like probably a bunch of fat. Like it was just such a dense meal, which I would not do now because I just know how to structure my diet correctly and in the best way to gain muscle without gaining fat. I've learned a lot throughout the years, but at this point, all I cared about was just being anabolic, eating a fuck ton of food. Like, and I even got like pretty chubby, which you'll see, not like too fat, but got to a point where you'll see when I turned 18. And yeah, this is all during the pandemic lockdown. I also got COVID during this time. So I got sick with one of my boys. I actually ended up staying, like we had like basically like a 2 week stayover. Like I lived with him for 2 weeks because we both got sick together, which was pretty fun. And all the school was like virtual online. So we basically like didn't do shit for 2 weeks. Basically just like smoked weed and just like played 2K, Madden, and like we'd go outside and stuff like that. But it was cool, like practice lacrosse as well. Pretty fun times, just looking back. So I'm 18 years old. This is my senior year of high school. So very fun year in terms of just like kind of being a degenerate, you could say. Like big party, drinking, smoking, vaping. I was doing all those bad habits. This was like the peak of me at 18 years old, just doing all those bad things, which I don't do anymore. You could see pre-golf road beer, I used to play a ton of golf. I worked at a golf course during my senior year. Used to smoke a ton of cigars, play golf, just like drink on the course, drink and drive. Bro, I was such an idiot when I was 18 years old. But in terms of fitness, I did my first ever cut. So this was me like January of 2022. So as you can see, my face is fucking so round. It's like I just look like shit. I remember just feeling like such like shit here. 'Cause, dude, I used to smoke a lot of weed. I was a really big stoner in high school, and I would like hit carts and like smoke weed a lot, which like I said, I just don't do anymore. I cut that out when I was 19. I'll get into that as well. But I just remember being in such like a mentally like vegetable state where like I just could not like produce thoughts that like would benefit me. I would just like be in such a state of mind where I could not think. I could not think straight. Like my mind was just like hazy and cloudy and I just like felt bad. My diet was like really bad. Didn't really care about like the proper things of training and diet and fitness. Even though like I used to obsess about like the training and like all these things, I wouldn't apply it into my diet, which is arguably one of the most important things, which you can see that I got like pretty chubby from this and just not really feeling good. So from this point, I wanted to do a cut and get really lean because number one, I had a spring break trip with my friends my senior year. That was a pretty fucking crazy trip. And then for summer as well, just wanted to get lean. And it was just like the normal thing to do when you get to a higher body fat percentage, you always want to cut down. So I remember my senior year as well, I started taking Adderall. So I was prescribed Adderall, and I still have this prescription to this day. I haven't used it ever since I took it once. I took it for like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And what Adderall does, like obviously makes you like really focused, but a little side effect of it is it makes you like it blunts your appetite completely, and it also boosts your metabolism. So you're basically burning more calories and you're not hungry. So you can like really, really cut the calories here. But I did not know how to do a proper cuts at this point. Like I would probably be eating like 1600, 1700 calories as an 18-year-old and like not really doing the most I can in my training. Like I could definitely add more cardio in at this point. But as you can see, got super, like I was pretty lean, but dude, I had no muscle. Like I lost a lot of muscle from like my previous gains. Like net positive, I obviously gained because like the newbie gains will stick around, but I did not do this cut properly at all. Like it was just not well executed. Like I got lean, like I said, but definitely lost some strength, lost some size. And as you can see, still look pretty skinny, really, really skinny. And yeah, like as you can see here, this is me. This is like May to April of 2022 when I was in my senior year. And this is more in the summer. Crazy story about this day. So me and my friends we showed up to school, then we skipped class. We left school to go buy an 18 pack of beer. There was three of us. We went out to these docks, which is like just like some docks in this big pond. Each of us drank 6 beers in like 30 minutes. Just shotgun, just slammed them, got super wasted, and then came back to school just to finish the day out, just to be like drunk at school. Like, dude, I was such a dumb kid when I was 18 years old, my senior year. Like looking back, it was fun and all, but I just would not do this anymore. I'm pretty disciplined with having those habits in place and in check. I just don't do these things anymore. And yeah, I would spend a lot of time. Like this summer was really fun. Just all I would do, just like work at the golf course, play golf, drink with my friends, smoke weed with my friends, go to parties, grad parties. Like this is when I was graduating high school, and vaping as well. I remember I quit vaping on that spring break trip that I mentioned. Yeah, I have a lot of crazy stories when I was doing all these bad habits. But in terms of fitness, got lean, but yeah, was not really in a good spot that I wanted to be in. And then I remember at the end of 18, when I was about to turn 19, I just had this internal mindset shift where I was doing like all these bad habits, as you can see in what I've been talking about. And then like at the end of summer, when I was about to turn 19, like my mindset just completely changed. Like I just did not care about anything about drinking, about smoking, about vaping, any of this shit completely went away. I was just super focused on like learning about like business and learning about things to make my life better, like self-improvement, self-development. I'd started reading books as well. Like that was so unheard of for me at this point. And it all just changed because I was just thinking about like going into college and like what I wanted my life to look like who I wanted to become in my life. And it kind of like got real at that point because like my senior year, like I was just having fun, like didn't really care about anything. But then that mindset shift happened. And I was just like very, very into personal development and becoming a better version of myself in all areas, not just fitness, but in my mindset, my habits, everything that I do. So moving on to 19 years old. So this is me, like just as I turned 19, as you can see, still very skinny, like coming off this cut here. Very skinny at 19. And I started going to Michigan State. So I actually started going there in the winter semester. So like my first semester of college ever was at a community college because like they filled up really quick at Michigan State. So I had to wait a semester and then start in the winter, which was like kind of stupid. Like it kind of sucked because I still had to be here, but it was whatever. Like I never really liked college. I'll get into. Actually ended up dropping out, which I'll get into in the next slide at 20. So like I said, this is me at 19, still very skinny. And I remember at this point in my life, I got super into like learning about like health and fitness, like even more than I was before. I remember like listening to these podcasts like Joe Rogan. He sometimes has like these doctors on, like these guests talk about health. If you know Sean Baker, he's like a really big carnivore diet guy. So I remember I listened to that podcast with Joe Rogan and Dr. Sean Baker. Shout out to Sean Baker. That guy's a fucking legend. Like super, super ripped. He's like 50 years old. Like I think he might be like almost 60. Insane physique, only eats meat. Like I think the carnivore diet is pretty good, which I tried it out. It's like as you can see here, like just eating meat. I would still have like some protein shakes at this point, but then later on I literally just went like full carnivore. I would not eat any carbs. The only things I would have is like these ground beef patties or like steak or like sometimes have like eggs, but like zero carbs, anything at all, just like ground beef, steak, eggs. That was it. Literally, that was all I would eat. And I did that for like 2 years as well. I'll get into that as well in the next slide. And yeah, where do I go from here? This is me. This is me when I was going to community college. Like I said, starting the carnivore diets. And yeah, no libido. So I remember it's kind of weird to mention, but I remember at this point, like I was 19 years old, but there was something that just made me have like zero sex drive. Like this is fucking weird to say, and it's like weird to admit, but I had almost like no sex drive as a 19-year-old kid. And this happened even going into 20 years old. Like this happened for a long time, and I fucking dealt with this for a while. I would genuinely like pray to God to give me like a libido and like a sex drive because I just didn't feel like horny at any time. Like it was fucking weird. Like it was bad. And it fucked with me mentally as well. Like there's some things that just like I've gone through that like sometimes like so weird. Like for example, this like I remember dealing with this and just being like kind of like sad about it. Like I wanted to feel like some sort of way. Like I don't know, kind of getting off topic, but I wanted to mention that because it was part of my story and like part of that reason is why I got into like really diving into health and fitness so I could get this fixed. Got really into like obsessing about testosterone, optimizing your hormones, optimizing your endocrine system, like everything that goes into like testosterone and all these things. And I did get over this. Like, by the way, I don't have this problem anymore. I don't know like the exact cause of what it was. Like, I remember going to the doctors at 19 years old. I was like, yeah, I don't have a sex drive. Like, I just don't feel horny. And they'd be like, oh, it might be like psychological. Like your testosterone seems fine. Like, I remember getting my testosterone checked at 19, and it was like 760 something like nanograms per deciliter, which is like it's not bad. Like, it's pretty good. Like, it's not like a low amount. I haven't got it checked in a while, but probably should. Pretty curious to see. But it genuinely might have been a psychological thing. I just don't know what it was. But yeah, something to mention there. Made me obsess way more into health and fitness. That's a big reason I got into carnivore diet as well. I was just like looking for the solution to this problem. Like it was genuinely something that I thought about every single day. Like I even got weird to some points. Dude, I tried like a fucking like vegan diet for like a week, bro. Like a vegan diet. Like I'm very against vegan diets. Like I think if you eat only plants, you're missing so many things that you need in your body, like certain like nutrients. Like I don't know these all the specifics of what you're not getting, but I know like if you're eating meat, that's one of the most like meat and eggs are the most nutrient dense things that you can eat. So like the fact that I did this to try to fix this just goes to show like how much I was obsessed with health and fitness and just like finding different things that I can do and try. And like pretty much my whole journey, I've been obsessed with experimenting, trying different things that work for me in terms of the gym, my health, like feeling good, feeling like good energy, all these different things. I remember at 19 as well, I was doing like really extreme bulking and cutting. So as I mentioned here, this is like when I first turned 19. So this is in August of 2022. And then I remember when I got back from this trip, I really wanted to put on a lot of muscle. So I started just fucking dirty bulking, eating a ton of food, and got on the carnivore diets. Fucking, no, at first I was doing like like animal based. So I was doing like a lot of fruits, a lot of meat as well. And then I got a little bit more extreme into like strict carnivore. And this is me January 1st, 2023. So like, as you can see here, like I did gain a little bit of muscle. You probably can't tell too much in the pictures, but I look fucking like kind of chubby here. So, excuse me. But yeah, I was not in a good spot. I would just always like increase my calories so much and then try to cut down super fast. Like I was very impatient with my results. And this led me to just like kind of go up and down, like going up, making progress, but then getting too fat, trying to cut down immediately. So I'd get pretty lean, but then lose a ton of muscle. One of the biggest mistakes in my fitness journey. So then this is kind of by the same time. This is December of 2022. You can see like I've gained a lot of fat since here, which is only like 3-4 months away. And then right here as well. So at this point, I was also working at a warehouse with one of my friends. So I remember after Michigan State, by the way, this was at Michigan State here. This was a random night. We saw like this toilet in the parking lot and we just went out and we had like a whole ass photo shoot here. We were pretty drunk as well. So side point there. But yeah, Michigan State, dude, I remember being pretty locked in with my diets. I'd like do this one meal a day thing because I remember I'd go to school at Michigan State, but like sometimes I would skip classes because I was working on a drop shipping business. And I was like, I was so obsessed with this. Like, I would pretty much not go to class for like maybe a month straight. Like, all my grades were so bad. And I would just work on this drop shipping business where I would sell golf products. I would sell like golf posters, range finders, like all these different like golf things. And it was like a really cool thing. I would spend all my days doing that. And my days were pretty much just like wake up, go to the gym, eat one huge meal, and then just work on my drop shipping business. And that was like all I did, like the whole time I was at Michigan State. And then, yeah, like my progress in the gym at this point was decent. Like I definitely gained a little bit of muscle, but I was also in a plateau because like I was eating one meal a day. Like I just wasn't really focused on fitness specifically. Like I was still going to the gym, but I was way more focused on like feeling good, like having my health in check, not truly like optimizing for the most muscle growth, which is why I really stalled at this point. So I got back, started working at a warehouse, and yeah, this is like when I was peak, like no libido, trying to figure that thing out. And I hit 225 on bench. This was like July of 2020. What year is this? 2023? Yeah, 2023. So I did hit 225 on bench. Like I was making slow progress, still getting stronger, but if I knew what I knew now, and if I applied this like even at like 17, like even going back here, bro, I'd be probably like 2 to 3 years more advanced than I am today. Like I've had like a lot of plateaus, a lot of times where I've made mistakes and fell off like my optimal progress that I could be making to deal with other things or like try to extreme bulk and cuts and do all these things. So like right here, for example, this was the summer of me at 19 years old. And I remember I had this trip to Mexico. So I was going with my family and I wanted to get like super, super lean for this because like I wanted to look like really good on the beach. And what I did, like I think I was like 2 weeks out from the trip. I think I crashed like I wouldn't really count calories at this point. I would just crash my calories like a fuck ton and then run a ton as well. So I'd be like expending a ton of energy and also crashing my calories at the same time, which is probably the worst thing that you can do in terms of like keeping muscle. So I remember in that 2 week period, I lost so much muscle and just got like I got really lean. Like I would always get lean on my cuts, but I would just fuck up the muscle part. I would always lose strength, always lose progress in the gym. It's one of the big reasons that like I could be more advanced than I am today. Like if, like I said, if I followed what I teach now, obviously. So this is me like about to turn 20. This is like kind of when I started doing like that really extreme cutting to go on vacation, which I mean, I look pretty good. Like I look pretty decent here. Got some good back developments and look pretty lean. But yeah, definitely could be better. So 20 years old, moving on. I dropped out of college to pursue online sales. So like I mentioned, I was doing the drop shipping business and that kind of failed. Like I ran out of money to spend on ads. So I really did not care about school at this point. I just wanted to make money and like work. That's the whole reason I started the drop shipping business because I number one, I loved golf and I wanted to start a business, like learn the skills in the real world instead of just taking classes for something that I could apply to later. I just wanted to start now and like make progress now. So I started working in sales like virtually online. So this is kind of why I was able to log into like me living in Colombia as well. So was working in sales at this point. I was 20 years old, and this was probably the most frustrating point in my fitness journey because I was like pretty much just stuck in a huge fitness plateau at this point. Ton of fat gain. Like I was really, really working hard in sales. I would spend pretty much all of my days just either on the phone, like talking to people on the phone, and then even outside of like the working hours, I would do more stuff like reading books. Really got into like these two books, Jordan Belfort, Way of the Wolf, Psycho Cybernetics. I reread this recently. Super good book. It's about like the self-image, how you view yourself. Like the way that you view yourself is the way that you behave in the world. It's really, really interesting book and how you can like kind of reprogram that mental image that you have of yourself. Really recommend this book to anyone. I think it can help literally anyone on this planet. So like in the fitness, dude, it was so frustrating because like I was working a fuck ton and like I was still going to the gym, but I didn't know how to like properly structure my training and my diet to still make progress with minimal effort. Like I was spending more time in the gym here than I do today. I just didn't have a structure to follow. Didn't have like a specific plan that I just know I could execute on. I would just like go to the gym. I was still doing the carnivore diet like it says here. So I wasn't eating carbs. I wasn't really training like optimally, you could say. Looking back, if I had my method now, still working like, dude, I was probably working like 10 to 12 hours a day, just like on the phones and then like doing reviews, like doing role plays with sales as well. Like I was really, really into it. And I mean, I learned a lot of lessons, like met a lot of good people through working in sales. And like I said, it was virtual as well. So I got to live in Colombia. So I'd travel to Colombia. My whole family is from Colombia, by the way. As I mentioned, my parents were from there. So I'd go to Colombia. I would stay with my grandpa, and like he was alone. So like my grandma, she passed away in 2021. So my grandpa pretty much lives by himself. So I had the opportunity to go to Colombia, work remotely, and live with him and keep him company. And I still had a blast doing it. So like so many memories in Colombia. That's kind of why I would go back and forth. This started in 2024, and ever since I've been going like pretty much on and off. Like I'd stay there a few months, come back to the US for a few months, go back to Colombia for a few months. Last time I was there, I was in Barranquilla for Christmas and New Year's. I was there for like a month and a half. Pretty good times every time I go, and I'm able to work remotely as well, so it's pretty cool. I can stay with family, keep my grandpa some company, and just have a good time out there. Pretty awesome. And then, yeah, 20 years old, randomly, I just ran a marathon with no training. It's not like random, but the story behind this was I was talking to one of my friends, and we were talking about David Goggins, and we were talking about like how he does like these ultra marathons, like how how much of a beast he is. Pretty much like it sounds kind of weird to say it like that, but it's kind of the conversation we were having. And then I remember I mentioned that I bet I could run a marathon with no training. Just like go out, run 26.2 miles. And my friend was giving me so much shit. He was like, no fucking way you can. Like, bro, you cannot do that. Like, it's impossible. So I wanted to prove him wrong. So the very next day, I went out. This was a Sunday, I remember. This was like March 17th, almost 2 years ago to this day. Like 1 year and 11 months from today. So I went out. I went out at 11 a.m., ran 26.2 miles. Took me 6 hours and 21 minutes, and I got it fucking done. Like I said I would do something. I put my mind to it, and I got it fucking done. This was super super brutal, like so painful, especially like these miles coming back. I went out here, and then came back, and bro, like this span right here, I remember just like being in agonizing pain with my legs. I couldn't walk for like a week after this. I would just like limp everywhere. If you've ever run a marathon without training, bro, it is fucking brutal. Like you will fucking destroy your knees, destroy your legs. But I'm glad I did it. Like it really taught me a lot, like perseverance, just like not giving a fuck about your feelings and finishing what you say you will finish and finish what you start. Really, really big part of this. So yeah, this is me, 20 years old. I've been kind of going more on the sales side of things, but like in fitness, going back to that, like still going to the gym very consistently. Just didn't have the diet in place. Still on the carnivore diet. And this was me, like, bro, like I just look kind of weird. Like I did grow out a mustache as well when I was 20. Still rocked it to this day. But like as you can see here, like I just look like kind of chubby, pretty fat. Like I put on a lot of fat, and I was just like, I kind of got to a point where I was like fatter. Like this is probably the most fat I've been in my life. Just like carrying on pretty extra body fat. And then at this point in 20 years old, I got back into running as well. More in 21, so we'll move on here. So 21 years old, pretty much the year it all changed. So I got, like I said, just got into running. So when I was in Colombia, I would do these races. Well, here, this is a half marathon I did in Medellin, Colombia. I do a ton of races. I was dating this girl in Colombia, and she got me pretty much into racing a lot, like running a lot, which I used to do. Like I mentioned, like I used to run cross country and track, but then I got back into it and started doing a lot of these races, and I just didn't know how to do it right. So, little side note here, I got this Garmin watch right as I turned 21. This is kind of like a birthday present for me. And little side note about this is that the moment I got this watch was pretty much like the moment that my identity changed into someone that just takes health and fitness way more seriously. And it's just like, I swear there's something to this, but like if you wear some sort of like fitness wearable, like a smartwatch or like anything like that, like tell me if I'm wrong, but like you genuinely just like become that person that just has a good physique and like takes care of themselves like way better, focuses on their diet way more, is more meticulous with everything that they do. It all comes down to how you view yourself. Like even before, like I was still obsessed with the gym and all these different things. But I swear, like when I got this watch, I took running way more seriously. I mean, there's other factors as well, like doing the races in Colombia and like running with like the girlfriend at the time, all those things. But yeah, I did not know how to do this right at all. I lost a ton of muscle. I tried to mix running and lifting, and at this point, I was still doing carnivore. So like early 20 years, early 21 years old, still on the carnivore diet. I did this for a while. So I was running, lifting with zero carbs, and I was always also trying to do like this fat adaptation where I would do like really fasted runs, and they were really intense, and that's like a recipe for disaster in terms of like muscle and growing muscle and being strong in the gym. Like if you're running fasted, you're just gonna break down muscle super super fast, use that as your energy. Versus if you have carbs before, like I should have known this, but I was so obsessed with like having a carnivore diet. A big reason I did that too is because of the mental clarity and like the keto. Like your brain uses the ketones, which is really good for like working and like being productive with like work, but it's not really good for the gym and like fitness and building muscle and all those things, which I've obviously implemented now, and I can make way better progress now. So at this point, this was me. Hold on, this was me October of 2024. So like I was like 2 months into being 21 here. Bro, I lost so much muscle. As you can see here, like here I was a little bit bigger, and I wasn't really running here. I was pretty much just going to the gym and not really taking care of my diet, like really into sales. Still was working sales here, but I got into running and I got so fucking skinny, bro. Like lost so much muscle running, doing all these races, not fueling correctly, just making so many mistakes. And that's kind of been like the story of my fitness journey. It's just like making mistakes, experimenting with a ton of different things, like doing the ups and downs, hitting the plateaus, and learning from those and paying the price of those because it really does cost you so much time in the gym. Because muscle growth is not as fast as fat loss. So if you can control the muscle load, holy fuck, I can't talk. If you can control the amount of muscle that you keep or gain, like nowadays I can even gain muscle on a cut, then you can make so much more progress in the long run instead of just like dipping down and just like wasting so much time. So I got to this point, this was October, and then I started doing a crazy dirty bulk. Still didn't even know, like I was still making these up and down mistakes instead of just making like slow linear progress, which is it's slow in the moment, but it's in the long run it's way faster, just by the way. So this was me December 31st of 2024. So there's genuinely 2 months in these pictures, and look how much fat I gained. Like here I'm really lean, I'm really skinny, really into running. I get back to the US because I was in Colombia here. I want to do a really dirty bulk. I just want to get as strong as possible, build a ton of muscle because I want to replenish what I just lost. Get to this point here where I just like I'm not the strongest I've ever been at this point. At the time, like I'm stronger now than I am here, but I'm so much fatter and I just made so many mistakes, like I keep saying. So at this point, start 2025, I go back to Colombia here. This is in February, so got back to the US 2024 October, spent 3 months here, went back to Colombia to spend more time over there in February. So this is me when I first got there. So I was at the strongest point I've ever been, but I was also carrying way more fat than I needed to. So I got back into running again. It's like I kind of took a break here, back into running, had this half marathon in April of last year, 2025. And at this point, this was like when I really started knowing what I was doing. I started introducing carbs into my diet again, wasn't super strict on carnivore. Up until this point, super strict on carnivore, would not really eat carbs. I thought carbs were bad for me, like even up to this point, like when I was 21 years old. So really started learning a lot more about like nutrition, how to use macronutrients for the diet, micronutrients, and really optimizing my routine and my method. Sorry, so my method that I'm doing like to this day. This is when I created what I call now the precision inputs method. So this is in April. In May of 2025 is when I really, you could say, like locked in and started applying everything that I teach now. I started my fitness coaching business, Ortegon Fitness, and ever since then, it's been really, really just exponential results. Like this is me in July of last year. This is like the profile picture I have for all my accounts right now. Took this in July of 2025. This was like I was really lean in the summer at that time, and dude, the amount of progress that I've made in this time here, like ever since I really started taking everything seriously, created this method that I follow pretty much to a T. Like no one is perfect. I'm not perfect with my own method, but I know exactly what to do. I know how to be consistent with things, and I know every single variable that goes into making a good physique, getting the results that you want to in the gym, and I can apply that correctly instead of just like not having a plan, not having structure, not knowing to use carbs correctly at the right times instead of just doing carnivore. I was in a weird spot before, bro. Like I was in a really weird spot. I was not doing things correctly, and I thought I knew everything because I was like that guy that was super consistent, and I like knew everything about the gym and all that stuff, but I really did not know, and I was not applying what I needed to, and that's why I got these results. So then, like I said, July of 2025, these two pictures were taken. This was me in Colorado, looking pretty fucking shredded. Like I unlocked this physique so fast once I started using my method that I teach now. And I also started posting on Instagram and YouTube. So I started my fitness page on Instagram. I actually started that on January 1st, 2025. You can actually go back to my first post on my Instagram. And I used to just like make it for my friends. Like I would just like every single day I would just post of what I did in the gym, like whatever workout I did, like my splits, and basically just documenting my fitness journey starting 2025. And then around this time here was when I really started making content, like trying to educate and like help others as well. Like use all the knowledge and info, like my method that I teach now, making videos about that and teaching, like still documenting the journey, but in a way where it's more for building an audience and for my coaching business as well, where I help other guys with the same thing, like getting in the best shape of their life using my method. So now 22 years old, this is me to this day. So right now I'm 6 months into being 22, so haven't even finished this part of my chapter yet. So I did a 22-mile run on my birthday. So this summer I was still really into running. Did 22 miles on my 22nd birthday. Super humbling run. Like I remember I did the untrained full marathon. Like this one was easier because I'd been running for a little bit now. Like I didn't stop running throughout this whole summer. Like ever since I did this half marathon here, continued to run. So this one was a lot easier, but it was still pretty fucking brutal. And I stopped drinking at 22 years old. So this was the last beer that I ever had. This was taken on my birthday, little birthday party that I had with my friends. When my friend brought me this beer, and this was the last one that I ever had. I have not had a sip of alcohol ever since I turned 22. So yeah, basically 22 years old, posting on Instagram. I took this screenshot today. As of today, I have 2,200 followers on Instagram. Pretty cool. I love to post and pretty much teach others my knowledge, because I genuinely have so much knowledge about fitness in my head that I can just spew. And I'm gonna make a full like training video on my method that I teach, like the precision inputs method. And yeah, like currently working on my coaching business, helping other guys transform their health and fitness. And with my progress in the gym, like I've made so much more progress in the last like 9 to 10 months, ever since I started using my method this was like May to June of 2025 of last year. So it's only been like genuinely like 9 months ever since I really like started using what I teach. And the amount of progress that I've made is fucking night and day. Like I've made more progress in the past 9 months than I ever made in like any previous 9 month span ever. Like even like when I was, maybe not when I was first starting, but I've just had so many ups and downs, so many mistakes, so many things that I've had to correct in my physique, in my journey. Just losing muscle, gaining too much fat. Like, it's just, that's the constant thing that I used to struggle with so much. And I've finally just figured out how to just make linear, consistent progress at a rapid rate, even 5 years into the gym. I've been lifting for 5 years, and I can make way more progress now, which it's kind of unheard of. Like, I wouldn't say unheard of, but it's just, it goes to show that if you have the right things in place, if you truly have a plan, and you know what works and you can apply what works consistently, then you can make way more progress than 99% of people that don't know what they're doing. So that's kind of where I am to this day. Looking pretty shredded, looking pretty good, working on the business, helping you guys as well get in the best shape of your life. Like I help guys on my Instagram. I love what I do. Like this is genuinely my passion to help other guys with this. Like I remember when I was working in sales, the best thing about working in sales was when you really help a client get a like transformation in their life, because like I believe sales is a service to other people. That's always what I was taught. Like I'm serving other people to help them get a certain outcome and a certain result from what they want to do. Like if someone's going to buy something from me, I want to make sure that I'm serving them the best way possible so that they can actually transform and I can be fulfilled. Like everything is a self-interest to the end of the day. My self-interest is to help others doing what I love, because health and fitness has fucking changed my life. Like I'll get into the future here as well. Like health and fitness has truly changed my life. I cannot even imagine if I never went to the gym, if I never got in the gym the person that I would be today, it would just be so much different than who I am because like dude, I showed you guys who I was before, like being this, 14-year-old kid, deformed, hypothyroid, super self-conscious, super shy, super introverted to who I am today. Man, like it's changed my life and I just want to make sure that everyone can truly reap the rewards that this can bring to your life. So like I do want to talk about the future, like moving forward. I've always told myself I want to do an Ironman. So like when I did get into running the races, got really into like endurance sports, like running, doing races, half marathons, 10Ks, 5Ks. So I do want to do an Ironman someday in my life. I don't know the exact day, probably in my 20s. Like I'm 22 right now, so I don't know when, maybe in like a few years, not sure, but I know I will do an Ironman. If you're gonna keep up, like I'm gonna keep posting on YouTube, on Instagram for probably the rest of my life. Like I do not see myself stopping this. I find it super fulfilling to like document my journey, help other people as well. So if you want to follow along for the journey, in 5, 10 years from now, you'll see me in Ironman. You'll see me do all these things that I'm about to say, helping others with their fitness. I'm still gonna continue building my business, coaching others with their fitness, just becoming like a mentor for others through their fitness and just helping people the best way that I can. Like it changes your life. Like if you don't prioritize your health and fitness now and you start doing that, bro, like I cannot stress how much of a change and how much of an impact it has on other areas of your life as well. Like your confidence, the way people respect you, admire you, other people just like look at you in a different light. You view yourself in a different light as well. It carries into every single thing that you do because it's like the foundation of life. Health and fitness is life. Like you just want to feel good, you want to be healthy, you want to achieve your goals. Like that's the whole point of life. Like life is supposed to be a work in progress. You're always supposed to be progressing in something. And if you're not, you're just regressing and you're dying. Like, there's a saying like if you're not growing, you're dying, which is so true. So also in the future, also planning to move to Miami and spend a lot of time in Colombia again as well. I have a ton of family in Miami. My brother actually just moved down there recently. So a lot of cousins down here, a lot of aunts, a lot of uncles, and it's really close to Colombia as well. So I can travel a lot easier than I can now. And keep going to Colombia. Like I said, my whole family's from there. So seeing my grandpa, spending time there, like it's a beautiful place. Like, if you've never been, I definitely recommend it. A lot of people say it's dangerous, which it can be, like if you're in like the wrong area, but for the most part, it's pretty safe. Like you'll have no issue there. And fitness and longevity. So I've always told myself I plan on being 100 years old. If I don't get there, that'd be a shame. Like genuinely, I take pretty good care of my health and my fitness to not get to 100. So in the future, 78 years from now, when I'm still posting these videos, you'll see me 100 years old. I'll probably make a video, maybe, I don't know, reacting to this video. I don't know. But yeah, big plans to have a long, healthy life, following things that I know what I've researched on lifespan longevity. Also taking care of my fitness. This is a picture of Greg Plitt. I think he has the best physique of all time. Like this guy was like my inspiration when I first started. Rest in peace to him. He passed away filming a commercial. He got run over by a train. If you don't know the story, it's pretty crazy. He got run over by a train filming a commercial. I think it was for Nike. Like they wanted him to like race the train, and he like crossed the track and passed away from that. So it's pretty sad. But yeah, I think he had one of the best physiques of all time. Like just look at that. Like that's pretty much what I will get to this point. Like I know I will get to looking like this, just like based on the trajectory that I'm on. And then I don't know who this guy is, but this is what I want to look like in my 60s, 70s, feeling good, looking amazing, having really good health. Like I'm not in fitness for the short term. I'm going to be that guy that's just like in shape all year round, never slacks off of his health and his fitness, especially with what I know now. Bro, I can make so much more progress and just sustain it as well. Like it's very sustainable what I do. I'll make the full guide as well. But yeah, live really healthy for a long time. Live with God as well. So like recently I've been reading a lot of the Bible, a lot of scripture. I've always had a, I wouldn't say always had a good relationship with God, but when I was at Michigan State, I really had like this, I don't know what you call it, maybe like calling or awakening, where I just had this moment where I just realized like God is everything that's, He gives everything to my life. And I've always been like back and forth with my relationship with Him, always like falling off, like losing focus on prioritizing Him in my life. But most recently, I've been reading a lot of the Bible. This is the book of Galatians, really good letter from St. Paul to the church of Galatia. So, yeah, I want to, one of my goals this year is to finish the whole Bible, like read every single book, every single letter in this, because like if you can understand and truly gain instruction and wisdom from this book, you have every single answer that you need in life. Truly, there's everything is in here. And I don't know like what religion you are if you're watching this video, but I'd, how do I want to say this? Like I believe God is real. I think you should look into God. Like if, I don't know what religion or what your beliefs are, but if you can even like read your own like holy book, just have a good relationship with God or like whatever you believe in. I'm not telling you what to believe in, but I think it's really good to have that sort of connection and guidance from God. And then last thing is being a family man. Like I'm single right now, but in the future I definitely want to have a lot of kids, be a good husband to my wife, have a good wife, and raise kids in a way that I want to raise them. Like be a good dad, good father, be a good role model for my kids and for other people, for my clients as well. Just like be the best version of myself. Just become like fulfill the potential that God gave me in my life and just realize what He wanted me to be. Like I said before, like I believe that God put me on this earth to do something great, to do something big, and I just feel this calling to help other people like with fitness. I don't know where that comes from. Like it might not like it's just like I love doing this. Like this is what I'm passionate about, and yeah, I just want to share everything that I do. So that's pretty much my backstory, the future that I'm gonna do, everything that I've gone through. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Now you guys know a little bit more about me, who I am, why I am the way that I am, and yeah, if you do want to work with me, I'll leave the link in the description, and then you can also message me on Instagram as well. I'll answer all DMs. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys in the next one.